What's going on, my good people? Mike Hidalgo here. Thank you for joining us on another FCP Euro DIY. Today we're going to be working on a 2016 BMW 535i F10. Today on the F10 chassis behind me, we're going to be covering how to replace the cabin air filter. This will be applicable to your F10 and F11s. In front of us, we have a Corteco Micron Blue cabin air filter set. This car is equipped with two of them back to back inside the HVAC box. We recommend you replace these every 15 to 30,000 miles or every 1 to 2 years, depending on the kind of driving conditions your vehicle goes through. These are super important, and today we're installing the Micron Blue Air, which have a microbial filtration element to them. But to learn a little bit more about why these are so important, be sure to click the link in the video description below, where our very own Ben Morawski takes you into the deep, dark world that is cabin air filters and their importance. But before we get started on this DIY, let's take a look at some of the tools we're going to need for this job. For this job, you're going to need a T20 and a 10mm socket. From there, you can pair it with your favorite ratchet. You can use a 1/4 inch or electric. We're going to do probably electric just to speed things up. We have both an extended and shortened T20 just to see what we're getting into. We may need one or the other, or both. But with that, my good people, keep in mind you may need a vacuum depending on what kind of filter job you're doing, whether it's an engine air filter or cabin air filter. There's always a possibility for a lot of stuck debris in between the pleats of the filters to kind of ruin your workspace. So if it gets a little crazy in there, just keep in mind a vacuum may be needed. But with that, let's go ahead and get started. We are in the passenger side footwell, my good people, of the F10. We have our new filters on the seat ready to rock and roll. We've kind of cleaned out our work area a little bit. One thing to pay attention to is these filters do have airflow arrows on them. So we want to make sure that when we pull the old ones out, the new ones are matched in the same direction as the old ones were. So we're going to grab our T20, get comfortable. We have 3 T20s to remove first so we can get to the actual cabin air filter box, or the HVAC box. So let's do that now. First one's over here on the left on this little side upper kick panel. One T20 holding that in. Put that T20 out. We want to pull towards us, and then there's just a couple clips behind it that hold it into place. There's one, and follow the next one. There's 2, and then it just kind of goes forward and out. Here's a good view of those 2 clips right there. We're going to go ahead and just pull this out. Then with that out, we have 2 more T20s underneath. We have one located right here, and we have one located right there. Let's zap those out. And with that, we have 2 10mm bolts to remove, one on either side. We can zap those out now too. All right, with the airbag just kind of being supported here by hand on the side, we have 2 metal clips that hold this kind of casing shield in. We're just gonna go ahead and pull down on either side, and that'll release it. And then the airbag can come down with this plastic. We're going to unplug the cigarette lighter here just to get a little bit more play. All right, we have 3 T20s to act as our actual filters to get this lid off. Then we have a 4th one, surprise. That one's over here by this white drain. We're going to go ahead and get in here with a shorty T20. With that last one out, the cover basically falls off. You can see just how nasty that is. This is kind of what's circulating inside of that HVAC box, which is what we're breathing. So super important to change these out. I'm gonna start with the forward one first. So as we pull this out, we're gonna pay attention to the orientation of the filter. Oh, this is gross. Arrows are going to point towards us when we put it in. Right, now the new filter can go in. Again, arrows pointing towards us for the proper airflow here. I think, to be totally honest, I think those were original filters. Or if they were serviced ever, they were serviced at BMW because they were BMW genuine Mala. But these are way better. All right, with that, now we can reinstall the bottom, but I'm going to take a hot moment and clean this out in the sink because this is absolutely disgusting. And then we'll install it in a moment. All right, we have our cover cleaned up. No more nasty debris in there. Let me go ahead and get this up into place. As long as we get one of the T20 started, then it'll kind of hold everything up where we need it to. We have, don't forget, we have 4 little tabs on the back. These kind of key in, then you lift up and you can get the front one started. Those key into the back of the box here. You can see 2 little openings on the right and 2 little openings on the left. Now we can hook the drain back up. All right, with that on, now we can get this first cover situated. We're going to swing this over, holding them both together as kind of one piece, the airbag and this inner piece. This has same thing similar to the air box or the HVAC lid. You see 2 little forks here. So these little forks key in, one right here at the top of the kick panel and one over here on the left. They're a little hard to see, but it pretty much only goes in one way. You can't really mess it up. I'm gonna get this cigarette lighter hooked back up. All right, now that we have those forks in the back keyed up, this inner black plastic has 2 metal tabs, or 2 metal clips, one on either end, that key into the bottom of the dashboard. You have one over here on the far side, you have one on the left side. However, before you pop those up, you'll notice there's also 3 tabs sticking out of that piece, and that is gonna be for the airbag cover to key onto. We're going to key them on, key the airbag cover on first, and then pop these up and focus on the 2 ends so we can get those clips situated. This will look something like this. So now that's kind of one piece. We'll line those up, pop those up. We're just going to get this 10 started in by hand first. We can get those 2 smaller T20s situated as well. And we're just going to go ahead and feed this in, keying it backwards first. It's got a couple little tabs in the back that key into the side of the center console here. You want to make sure you get those lined up. All right. 2 plastic clips. Just going to feel for them, make sure we're lining them up. There we go. And then we have the longer T20. And with that, my good people, that is going to conclude this DIY for today. Overall, a pretty straightforward job on the F10. Doesn't take too much time and requires minimal tools. A very important DIY to know and stay on top of. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments on what we did today, leave those in the comment section below. And if you like this DIY and you want to see more like them, please consider subscribing. We make new ones all the time. As always, thank you for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.